You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Castle After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Castle After Show.
Hello, welcome back for another after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We are doing Castle Season 6, Episode 8, A Murder is Forever. What a clever play on a very current theme or song.
Diamonds are forever.
I'm not even going to try to sing it.
I just sound so good.
You sound amazing.
I can't compare to that at all.
Well, we'll just let you take it. Take it away. But welcome back. I am your host, Paige Sullivan, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, as always.
Hello, everyone. Tiona Hobson.
Hi, guys. I'm Kate Aquillano.
And so this is a fun episode. If you guys didn't check it out already earlier tonight, we got to interview Captain Gates, Penny Johnson-Gerald. So we had a quick interview with her before she had to run off to a screening. So it was really nice for her to call in. So you can check that out on iTunes. You can also check it out on YouTube. We can tweet it out to you guys. But if you want to see her insight, she gave us a little preview of what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. She told us it was going to be a very bromance episode for Ryan and Esposito, which it was.
Yeah.
But I felt like this was one of those murders where kind of everybody was involved and there was a lot going on. It was hard to keep track of.
There was a lot happening, and there's a lot of names being brought up, and
yes.
you know, especially with the fixer and all the clients that the victim had. So it was kind of not confusing, but it was just hard to keep up on all the names.
Yeah, we hit rewind a couple of times. We're like, wait, what just happened? So we kind of did a double take. But I like that everyone was involved. Sometimes when Ryan and Esposito aren't super involved in the investigation, I kind of miss them. So it's nice to have everyone working on the same thing.
I love when I even love when it's just the guys working on something, and Beckett and Castle are kind of doing their own thing because they're funny and their bromance is fun to watch. But even Gates was in on this. Everybody was all hands on deck for Alice Clark. So we kind of intro the show with this conference or a book signing or reading. I don't really know. Mating Rituals was the book.
Yes.
So she apparently studied animals in the jungle.
Gorillas.
To be
specific.
And then related it to real life couples and wrote a book about it and was a therapist. Not a licensed one, we find out, but a therapist.
She's just a relationship guru, and she has very A-list clientele.
Yes.
I mean, A-listers are going to someone who's not licensed, so she must have been good. Or, hey, my couch is available too.
I can be a relationship guru.
I mean, I can talk about your relationship and help you fix it.
I can talk all about it.
Yeah.
Write it all
and
down.
not go to school for 10 years. I'm game.
Save out on all those clinical hours and stuff. She got a great deal.
She did spend time in the jungle, though, which I'm not so down for.
And she's now deceased.
She is dead, so
we might have to rethink this.
That part,
Right. Well, Alice Clark was her name. She was killed, and we see her dead in her car. And I automatically think, we also find out Hawk is the guy who's in the car next to her. I automatically thought he didn't kill her.
Yes. Oh, exactly. That would have been too easy.
Way too easy. We never see the face of the killer before it happens. He might not be a great guy, and the fact that he's sitting next to a woman who's dead and he pulls out a knife, I'm a little suspect.
Well, I was just wondering, well, she's already dead. What are you going to do, stab her again?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, are you going to cut her up? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure either.
I'm not sure what he did.
He tore up the car.
So he was looking for something.
Right, but so we enter and we see this happening, but then we jump to Castle and Beckett, who are in bed, and it's, first off, Beckett, it's a poster. We'll deal with that. But I liked how their relationship was paralleling things that were happening in the episode.
It was a little too parallel. I'm a relationship guru who talks about animals in relation to relationships, and then they're talking about a lion in their bedroom, and I just thought it was too convenient a little bit.
And the lion's name was Linus, which is close to lioness.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is it a lioness?
Yeah, or Linus. I don't know. I don't know either.
I don't know. It's so funny because it felt so insignificant when I was going through the whole episode.
Yeah.
I even forgot that happened. Even when he would bring it up randomly, I'd be like, okay, let's move on to the murder because this murder is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. But it is a good lesson to learn that in relationships there's give and take.
Compromise.
And just to wrap that up real quick, I guess Castle, realizes that, and he puts that little seashell thing from their first walk in the Hamptons. That was adorable.
That was cute. So he put seashells on the wall in the place of the lion, and those were the shells that he collected on their first walk in the Hamptons together. It's cute. And it's theirs. It's not his or hers. It's something that they share.
It's communal.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked how he's like, we're both alphas. So, but I did like Esposito and Ryan. He's like, well, there's one feminine and one masculine in the relationship.
He's like,
even ours.
You're wearing a sweater vest. So.
Yeah. So funny. He always is dressed so dapper for a police officer in New York.
Ryan.
I love that. He dresses so, and he's always, I've said this before on Twitter, like he's putting up the different knots he's wearing in his ties or bow ties. I'm like, oh God.
Love it.
I can't. It's so funny though. But this whole episode really revolves around Clark and her death, and we don't see much outside of that, but we find out that she, because of an alarm on her phone, that she'd had this jet on standby.
Yes.
And we come to our first suspect, who is this guy, one of her clients, who apparently his wife, they're getting divorced, and she's looking to get those papers back because it has incriminating evidence that she could get his billions. But apparently he talks her out of that.
Yeah.
And he sets Clark up with a hotel.
So basically, the police are thinking that he killed her because he wanted this file back.
Right.
They go to investigate him, and he's like, Alice gave it to me. We asked, like me and my wife asked, and she just gave it to me. And the payback was to have a room in one of his hotels, but have nothing on the books.
Right. And so he was my first suspect because I thought, oh, this could happen. Because prior to that, we did have Hawk in the office. They found him with his van because the meter maid camera on his car. Whatever. They find him with his van, but they have no evidence because he's really good at his job.
He's a fixer.
He's a fixer.
No fingerprints.
A sweeper.
Yeah, I like that they incorporated the fixer thing because, there's this other awesome ABC show called Scandal with a fixer in it. So I loved how they kind of, brought the craze that is this whole fixer thing that everyone in the world's learning about into their world, too.
Yeah,
right.
Cool.
No, I definitely liked that because I, off the bat, didn't see Hawk, though, as a killer. I didn't see him as a killer. His job's not to kill. His job is to fix.
Exactly.
And maybe just being a Scandal fan, I was like, no. We wear the white hats. We wear the white hats. But we also meet the boyfriend who when we meet him right off, I was kind of like, I was a little suspect, but I thought, no, that's too easy. If it's not Hawk, we know it's not him because he was in the car. It can't be the boyfriend. It's too soon.
I had the boyfriend gave me no indication that he'd be the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He's like, I was supposed to pick her up. I didn't. It's my fault. Granted, his hands weren't clean in all of this. But he didn't kill her, and I didn't think he did.
No.
So, in my eyes, the very first suspect was her client, Andrew Spencer, who set her up with the hotel. So that kind of leads us to really what sparked everything in this episode was this massive holy grail of diamonds.
Oh my gosh.
100 carat? Is that what they said?
100 carat.
$60 million.
Which
initially.
And later learn is priceless.
It's priceless.
But Ryan and Esposito go to a gemologist. Is that what they're called?
That's the diamond man.
The diamond.
Word.
I mean, maybe to kind of see if they can figure out anything from this diamond. And he says it's 100 carats, 60 million. But on their way back is one of the scariest scenes in the whole episode.
Right. Yeah.
Just because of the clown masks.
Yeah.
Come on. They kind of
for real. That was unnecessary. They could have been any kind of mask.
And let's talk about this.
Okay, let's talk.
2 officers with handguns survive and no one is injured
and there's
in a massive
four clown
with
people machine guns.
They crash into the side of the car. They don't even look bruised. I didn't realize anyone was hurt until after it was over and they were back in the office.
And they had
and they had an
blood
ice pack on their neck and were changing their
Well,
shirts.
there's adrenaline, guys. Adrenaline. In reality, yes, I think they would have been struck by a bullet. Yes.
Hey, I'll cover you against the 5 machine guns right now while
Let's
you
run
run
to the
cover.
subway.
Yeah.
My thing is, the clown masks, Castle writers, we're all afraid of clowns and
Don't
clown
do that
masks.
to
Don't
us.
do that. Why couldn't it be like, when is, somebody who needs a mask going to go into iParty or whatever party store and just get like a cat mask?
Like
or
something fun and innocent?
Yeah.
Like a panda.
Yeah, a panda mask. Just something friendlier than a clown.
The clown. It doesn't have to be.
We still won't see your face, and I won't be as
Serves the
terrified.
same purpose.
It's giving a bad name for clowns everywhere because there are some very happy, nice clowns.
I don't
and
know
then
about that.
Everyone's afraid of them because TV shows always make them massive killers.
Yeah, like murderers.
Yeah, movies. I mean, Saw. Like that didn't do any good things for
No.
the clown industry.
And even when you go to like a haunted house or something, there's always a clown.
Scary clown.
Why?
Always.
You never have the haunted ballerina or like the haunted firefighter. It's like a clown
It's the
in
clown.
your
It
face.
gets you every time.
But yeah, that I didn't like. I wanted that scene to be over. I was like,
I know.
okay, we know you're not going to die. Just go. I did think they'd take the diamond though. I was surprised they saved the diamond.
Exactly.
And they saved the diamond. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, that just shows you
This
how
seems-
good Ryan and Esposito.
They are
little
well
far-fetched.
trained. Well trained.
Well trained, yes, but a little far fetched.
I agree, but
reality.
that's this isn't reality. This is TV, and
Exactly.
they did the job.
They got it done.
But so then they immediately, I love how they're in there, they're like icing their wounds, and he's getting wrapped up, and she's like, you guys need to go follow up on this diamond. You need to go figure it out. It's like,
Not like
Gates,
take the
girl.
day off or,
Girl, calm down.
take an hour, get
Yeah.
a coffee,
Go
get
home,
back out
hug
there.
your wife.
You know what I
Your pregnant
Right?
wife.
Pregnant wife.
We never addressed, but I had thought Sully would stick around. Turns out
yeah,
he
Sully
didn't.
just
I don't know. Like,
has disappeared.
Because I was going to say, why couldn't Sully do that? Send Sully with
I'd
the
like
diamond.
them to wrap that up. What happened to Sully?
Sully just
And where is his
disappeared.
messy desk? Because I'm sure once Beckett took his desk away, her desk back,
Yeah.
he was making a mess of
Like,
someone
I don't
else.
think they made room in the budget for Beckett. They didn't fire Sully. So I
That's
would like to
true.
see where
Yeah.
he is. Because I think in this situation,
He would have been helpful.
he would have been very helpful. But that is when we figure out about this diamond, or the initial findings of this diamond.
Yep.
But we also find out that it's a newer diamond, and it was most likely smuggled, and that it wouldn't have gone through like through the border without them knowing
Yeah.
about it. So there's something sketchy about this, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with blood diamonds and everything that happens outside of our country to get these diamonds and to
Right.
get them to us, which is why a lot of people are opting out of buying diamonds these days.
Yeah.
Because it is sad a lot of people die because of them. But so it kind of seems like this might be around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they make a comment that when when Alice Clark was doing her research for her relationship book in Africa, when she was studying gorillas, she might have been involved in some way.
Well, because first they're going through the list of her clients, and they're like, Gates is like, who has connections to China? Who has connections to Africa? Who has connections to these places?
Yeah.
And, Castle's the one who says, maybe it's not her clients. Maybe she was the
her.
one.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't, technically.
But his little theory, I was like, wait, that's not very far-fetched.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And even Beckett, who never does it, she's like, that could work.
that actually
that could
could
work.
happen.
But instead, she's like, but I have a better idea. She, like,
But I still know it's wrong.
she Googles it and automatically comes up with a picture of the
Automatically.
diamond on, she had a client named Steve Warner, Alice did, and his wife, Janet, and they have a charity in Africa, so then she Googled him, and she's wearing the necklace with this big diamond.
Boom.
So, boom, we have
We match it.
We have the diamond. But they come in, and I love how Janet's like, it's a crystal.
It's not real.
It's not real, it's crystal.
It's costume jewelry. That is not.
That is not.
That is not. That thing
And-
sparkles like the top of the Empire State Building. It is a diamond.
You do not lie to me about
And
diamonds.
the kind of money they make, the way he's like, well, I have this much money, like later in the episode,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you have that much money,
And
but you
then
were
you're
wearing a
wearing-
crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense.
Say you rented it from somewhere, celebrities, for
They
big
borrow.
records, they borrow.
Yeah, you have
and-
to return it.
And the security guard follows them around all
Yeah.
night with it. you
Right,
know.
yeah.
But say something like that, but to just be like, oh no, that's fake.
Not real.
No, it's a
No.
crystal. But so they go home and with their panties in a bunch, tooting their horns that they have nothing to do with this. And we find out the doorman says Hawk was there. So yes. Hawk's working for them. And we talked to Hawk, who kind of just says, they were mugged.
Yeah.
That's when this diamond went missing, because we found out it had glue residue on it anyways, which we did learn. So they were mugged, and he says it was an inside job. Somebody knew.
I like that little investigation scene with him and Beckett when he's like, turn off the mics.
Yeah.
I thought it got real right then. I liked it.
Well, because this is, it has to be off the books for him. He knows he didn't kill her, but he doesn't want this personal information.
His discretion, so he went about it the way he could.
I love how everybody knows about him, but even the first guy, Andrew, he was like, I wouldn't even know how to find him. Because it must be one of those things, it's like, I heard about a guy who does this for a guy that I know.
Yeah.
Can you get him for me?
Like, don't know his name.
Don't know his name.
But he fixes things.
But Barrett Hawkman. But he gives them some good information about what went down with his mugging.
I'd like to see what would actually happen if someone just told the truth from the start, because sometimes, what's his name?
It wouldn't be any fun.
Well, it wouldn't be fun, but Hawk lies at first and is like, I don't even know who this person is and all this stuff. And then as soon as he goes, turn off the mic, and then starts telling her a different story, they automatically believe him instead of, checking into it. So if you just said it from the beginning, because it sounds like a crazy story, and everyone's like, oh, I didn't think you'd believe me at first, but now that you actually have evidence pointing towards me, I'm going to tell you the truth, and you're going to automatically believe that I'm right.
I feel like him and Beckett had a connection, and she knew he was telling the truth.
Yeah, but still, there's other people, too, in other episodes where it's like, why all of a sudden do we automatically believe
Trust
them?
You?
Like, after you already lied once?
Well, this is the second time he's being brought in, so he's probably like, okay. This is bad for business. And it's probably bad for business. Everybody's like, oh, Hawk's in jail again.
Yeah, because the same can be said about, the Werner couple, too. The first time they came in, no.
It's a crystal.
Fake. It's crystal. It's that. Next time they come in, okay, this is,
Okay, I made it.
Changing their tune a little bit, but
because everybody thinks they're going to get away. But the funniest thing to me was, we've been calling this girl like the tech girl or the technology girl. Her name is Tori. I feel like we have never heard her name before.
I didn't know it beforehand.
No, I've always been like, what is her name? It was Tori.
It's like the one that follows the money.
Yeah, I put like this big star. I was like, we know her name. It's Tori. So Tori helps them find out that there was like a hit and run around the area where they were mugged. I love the woman. She's like, I have to report a hit and run. I hit him and he ran.
And I was like, what? So then Esposito and Ryan go see this woman, and she's like still distraught over hitting this man, and his fingerprints are on her car. And that leads us to this Leo character,
Wingard,
who is her boyfriend.
Yeah, he went by Matt Lanchett, but his name's Leo, so he's not from America.
He's South African.
She met him there. And they kind of, weren't doing the coolest stuff, I guess. I don't know. They were like, it's weird. Like they were.
He was like a Robin Hood.
Like he was working against the cartel because they saw what happened with these blood diamonds and what the cartel was doing to people.
Yeah.
So they were working against it, but it still seemed shady.
A little shady.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they were trying to do good.
Right. I got kind of confused though. So like they do this theft and they're stealing this diamond, but this diamond didn't even come from there.
They were stealing it to prove that the man-made machines can make diamonds like of good value to stop the cartels.
Or you can stop the cartels because you can get these quality diamonds.
And but the cartel's trying to get the diamond
because Steve Werner had sold his patent to them. So then they found out about it and were like trying to get the diamond.
Yeah. See, it was so confusing to me. I was like, okay.
It wrapped up in like 30 seconds. You're like, what?
Like,
well, that's the problem, especially like when we're watching it and then we come right in here. I was watching and so much was happening at one time. I was like, okay, wait, and who's Van Rowan and who? Okay, Leo did this, and so it was a little confusing.
Yes,
but ultimately, Steve had created this diamond, and not intentionally. He didn't mean to create this massive diamond.
The size of it.
He meant to create a diamond.
Yeah,
but not this massive.
Just a little token, for his wife.
Yeah. So then Beckett is trying to pin him with the attack on Ryan and Esposito in the clown masks. And they're like, you had like 4 or 5 calls with them the morning of. And he's like, I wasn't even home. I didn't call them. his wife did it.
I love how he has that realization. He's like, Janet, you didn't. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks horrified. Like, what were you doing?
I mean, imagine it. You marry someone and then you think you know them, and then to find out that they're capable of doing
something like that.
Something that, even though she wasn't directly the person to do it,
But
she
she
still
was
made
giving the okay.
Yeah.
And made the okay. It's like, wow, who did I actually marry? Because even he didn't stoop to that level, and he's actually the one who's in a heap load of crap.
Yeah, I mean, she was doing it for them. She didn't want their, stature in their kind of.
But now you're in jail.
But exactly, now you made it even worse.
You made it so much worse.
I don't know how you justify it in your
That's
head.
always the thing. It's like, I get it, kind of.
Kind of. But then to actually go through with it.
Like, I'm even here in LA where they actually give tickets for jaywalking. I'm like, I want to do that, but I don't want to pay a ticket. It's like, yeah, I may want to call the cartel and have them get my diamonds back, but I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
So, and people will die.
So
I don't know. Poor Alice Clark, though. I feel like she was doing a good deed. Kind of. You still mugged someone. You did weird things.
Yeah, I mean, for ultimate good.
Ultimate good.
They're the Robin Hoods because, they were stealing from the rich guy to try and
help
out the poor
Yeah.
and people not die as much. But
as much.
as much. But, they went about it in the wrong ways because I think there's other ways to, maybe if they had heard his side of why he didn't want to come out with his idea and, with proof of this,
but
then they could have been like, okay, well, hey, let's work on this and we'll work on protecting you. And
but the wife even said that she went to see Alice and talked to her and said, we need this diamond back, tried to explain her situation, but Alice still ultimately went ahead stealing it and trying to kind of expose it.
Well, she already had it.
Yeah, at that point she already had it.
Then she kills her by accident. Why did you bring a gun? If you just want to talk, you don't bring a gun.
Exactly.
So,
I didn't mean to do it.
I didn't mean to, but I did bring a gun.
They can have her premeditated because she brought it with her.
Yeah, and
right?
she had
brought
motive.
the gun, right?
Yeah, I'm
Alice
assuming
didn't already have it.
I don't think Alice had the gun. They didn't really say who had the gun. She said there was
and then Alice reached for the gun.
Yeah, there was a struggle. She reached for the gun. I'm assuming that she had the gun when Alice reached. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We didn't get that far.
We didn't get that far because, like we said, it wraps up. That's how Castle always is. It's like suspect to suspect, and then there's the answer, and
then
boom, Castle and Beckett in bed. Well, looking at seashells.
With seashells on the wall.
Seashells. But I always feel bad when we have endings like this because I'm kind of like, she's just a woman, but
she took it too far.
She took it too far. Yeah.
Too much.
Too much.
You know what? Just do your unlicensed counseling. Stay out of, the cartel biz, and you'll be safe.
But then again, if everybody's kept their nose out of the bad things that were happening, things would never get fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe, in Castle Land and the newspapers, it sparks a conversation about blood diamonds and things that are going on, and the people of Castle Land can address them.
Yes.
I like that.
So who knows? But if you haven't seen that movie, you should see Blood Diamond.
Such a good movie.
You'll have a little background on kind of what was going on this episode, because I feel like people try to pretend it's not a real thing, but it is a real thing.
If you don't have a lot of knowledge about kind of what goes on, it would be advantageous to kind of watch it.
Conflict diamonds, it's a real issue that's going on, and it's a bad
really,
thing.
it's really helpful. And I like how Castle brings real life situations into this all the time. Time travel, those things, maybe not, but those
are fun too. But
those are fun. These are things that are relatable and people can learn from it.
You know what? One day people are gonna look back on these episodes and the time travel thing, and they'll be like, "Oh man, we do it so much better than they did."
They were trying to teach us then. We just didn't listen.
They're gonna comment on our YouTube video. Gosh, they know nothing.
They're gonna come back in time to to our episode about the time travel thing and be like, "See, it is real.
It's real."
Yeah, we told you.
Oh Lord, gosh, maybe that will happen. That'd be pretty cool. But that kind of wraps up for this episode. We don't have any news and gossip for you other than really go check out our interview with Penny. So let's hop into predictions.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Well, based on the previews that we saw for next week's episode,
I'm excited.
I'm just really excited to see how this works out. And, it's like they find bodies.
Yeah, it was a very good teaser.
It was a weird, really very cool teaser.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, it's Disciple, I think is the next episode. It's online because I watched it online. insane. It's like they have doppelgangers who are dead, who are exactly like them.
Yeah.
Like they have this, like Lainey has the exact same tattoo in the exact same place as the person
The tattoos,
who's
yeah.
murdered. So, and I'm excited that Lainey's going to hold like probably a more dominant place in the episode. So
I saw an article that said something like Lainey's going to dominate this, or her character, obviously. And so Tamala Jones, I think, gave her a little insight, but I'll let you guys read that. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I'm excited because I love when we delve into certain characters in certain episodes, when we do give Ryan his episode, or Esposito, or Lainey, and I feel like we haven't seen much of Lainey this season.
Yeah, we really haven't.
And she is Beckett's best friend.
I know. Beckett always goes to her for advice when she needs to talk through something. So what? You
want to have a
prediction?
No, I just was like, oh my gosh, has Beckett even asked her to be her maid of honor yet?
No.
Like,
maybe
how
that.
rude.
That's a good
prediction, yeah.
What?
That, I mean, you would. It's gonna be her, right?
Yeah, it has to be
Beckett
her.
doesn't have
Does she have any other options?
She has no other friends. I mean,
Alexis will be in there.
Well, Alexis
somewhere.
will have to be, yeah. And Martha, will Martha be a bridesmaid as
Martha's
well?
like, I'm a bridesmaid.
I don't know. I don't have any serious predictions other than it looks like a crazy episode.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
And I think, like we said, we'll see a lot of Lainey. Obviously, the other characters will be there. But I think this will be a field day for Castle. He will be very, very excited.
Oh, yeah. His imagination's
His
going to be
theories
going crazy.
are going to go crazy.
He's going to run wild. But make sure you guys check us out on iTunes. You can watch this episode again if you want to, or our talk with Penny Johnson-Gerald. And always tune in next week. But make sure you comment, rate, let us know what you're thinking. Tell a friend if they love Castle to tune into our after show. And keep the conversation going here at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter. And you can find me on Twitter at Paige Sullivan.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona-Hobson.
And you can find me on Twitter at Aquillano.
And so make sure you guys keep the conversation going, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.